hasn't happened. It's going to take a lot of time.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is that we've already taken a lot of time to try and implement ideas like socialism, and I believe the case law speaks for itself. Welcome to day 812 of eating a sheet of paper a day. You can keep going, by the way. We're going with 3-ply toilet paper.
Okay, interesting.
3, 2, 1. All right, thank you. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me turn the sink off. The toilet paper sucks because it expands in your throat, which makes the process so much more painful.
So is the debate on, on Marx going to just be included in the paper?
I mean, I think we concluded. I mean, my thesis statement was already pretty. I mean, I was pretty crystal clear with that because I think the idea that Marx had. I think politics, people keep forgetting that because politics, we as the American public engage in so much discourse rather than action. Because in America, I mean, even in just societies, but I mean, I'll just focus on America in a vacuum. We can only theorize about what's going to happen because of so few of us actually have the power to change it. And people forget what politics is. It's really the dividing line between theory and practice. And that line is so much thicker than people realize. Because we can formulate as many crazy ideas and go, wow, that sounds really smart. If things were stacked this way financially, how could the country fail? You know, or how could it not at least kind of work? And if it fails, obviously the theory still sounds cool, so let's try it again. And I mean, when you get into politics, though, let me finish. When you get into politics and you're actually working there, again, I don't work in politics, but I feel like you should at least be able to understand or have the foresight to go, when you actually say try and put a piece of legislation that works within a giant system with cogs that all need to work together, or else the whole thing falls apart. As a theory, or as a theorist, as a political theorist, which is what we all are in a sense, we could just say, well, fuck those cogs. I mean, we don't like those cogs. The cogs are the reason why all of the disorder that exists within a system inevitably happens. We can't have that. When really, as a politician who actually is making the change, doing the actual important stuff instead of screaming at a wall or writing in your Twitter blog, I believe that what is really important is understanding that each cog is important. And what's the alternative to not having the cogs there? You don't have a system, and everyone's just eating each other's cocks and resorting to cannibalism. I'm being I'm being hyperbolic, of course. No, I'm being literal, but very hyperbolic. I'm literally hyperbolic right now, but my arm hurts. But also, it's unfair to do all this yapping without having you actually say your piece. So I'm
gonna say my piece now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's the exact reason why I'm not a communist. But okay, it's really late.
Me too. I know. I agree.
One thing that you said was okay. Oh, is that we could just throw our hands up and say, oh man, the cogs in the machine, blah blah. We hate the system. And,
I'm saying that's stupid. I'm saying that's dumb.
I would also agree that that's stupid. Except if I think you're misunderstanding the theory and the practice in that case by just saying that.
How am I doing that?
Because the practice of socialism would be to have worker democracy within a company. That's really all it is. That's the entire.
It's a very
definition.
Abstract theory. And what's interesting, and here's my idea.
That's been tried, and it works typically better than having a CEO and a bunch of investors that make all the profits. That it never gets to the work.
Well, that's what's crazy about say case studies and these examples, because what I find very interesting about this is it's this idea of, okay, there's either this system or this other system, and we've seen the examples, and for one, it's disputable. It's very debatable and disputable.
It sure is debatable. I would also agree that the two systems are not mutually exclusive.
What I'm saying is that, it's a mistake to call, say, the idea of providing healthcare to your citizens inherently socialist. I think that for one is counterproductive.
Well, no.
It presents the
that's the conservative argument.
That's my main disagreement with the Conservative Party. Actually, I have still yet to hear a single convincing argument for making that economic sacrifice. Maybe we should wait until we overcome the negative effects. Although federal spending is about to get anal for the next 4 years, but I still think it's going to be better than the last 4 years. Sorry, Randy, but I think that regardless,
Biden, okay?
yeah, no, me neither. But like, no, I just think that like, I'm just fucking like, but no, I think that like we still should be willing to take that hit because I think long term it is so much unequivocally better than short term. And I still need to hear a mathematical, logically sound argument as to why it is a bad idea and why the negative outweighs the positive. Getting people covered, especially when there's a huge poverty disparity in this country, right? It's becoming more important than ever. So like if we don't do that, what else can we do? I stand for so many conservative values, nearly all of them except for this one. This one really bugs me. So I'm really curious to hear any conservative's argument about this. So him and I were talking, and they kind of got into a conversation about, okay, people would call it socialist. And I'm saying, no, I don't think that conservatives should consider that idea socialist. It's like the idea that preventing climate change, I'm not going to call it global warming, but preventing climate change from fucking up our ecosystem, calling that a liberal or a leftist idea when really, no, it's not. It's a universal thing. Healthcare to me is so much more universal than the idea of isms. You know, saving our ecosystems is so much more universal than the idea of left or right. So it's not socialist. And even if it was, I think there's a difference between a fully socialist system in which capitalism and the system of America that comes along with it, involving freedom of speech and freedom of being able to have much more power in proposing legislation and having your vote count. All of that being exclusive to what we call capitalism. I don't think that proposing an idea and saying, well, I think this entire country should become socialist or I think that this country is in danger of becoming socialist. Either side.
This country's not in danger.
It's not. But I think this country is in danger of being mislabeled as socialist by a bunch of fanatics, both on one side and the other side. Those who are trying to advocate and those who are trying to advocate against, and both suck, and both are completely misunderstanding the idea. We're like politicizing the weather, politicizing the climate, and politicizing people's health, saying that it's socialist or not socialist to prioritize health over our economy, which fluctuates so sporadically that we're just adding in my opinion, and I'm again also being very hyperbolic with this, we're just adding drops of water into the fucking ocean. So,
well, yeah, I mean,
you should agree with me on this, Randy. I swear
absolutely.
to God. Okay,
I loved a lot of the points from there where you were like healthcare and global.
Of course, you would like that. Of course, you would fucking.
And the climate, and that's all like a
that's all
political issue.
Fair and dandy. It's not political. It really isn't.
Well, yeah.
My arm
everything's
hurts.
political. Everything's political to an extent, but it's not Republican or Democrat, right?
My arm hurts. But
your arm hurts.
All right. Okay. You know my catchphrase, right?
What?
Make sure to live. Laugh, you're fucking this up. Make sure to live, laugh, cry, and also not die. See you tomorrow on day 813 of eating a sheet of paper a day. My arm hurts.
Don't eat paper.
Yeah. What the fuck? What did you just say, you little son of a bitch?